Proud to announce and inform that Global Educators Fraternity is genetically mutating to all parts of the world with immense pleasure. I present to you Dr. Joel M. Fontanella from Philippines. He is graduated Doctor of Education, International Ambassador of our Global Educators Fraternity, author of inspirational book, Builder, a perfect draft of God's exceptional plan, and has received numerous awards as most outstanding educator both at national and international level, and has been featured in Be Exceptional series based in Africa. He is, I must say, he is an exceptional teacher, a poet by heart, and driven and always motivated to do anything for the educators fraternity. And he believes in empowering others, in empowering yourself beyond expectation. And as Dr. Zoel rightly mentioned, around the world in 7 days, we will be covering in 7 days, 7 different parts. So today, our day one is Philippines. And over to Dr. Zoel to take us a quick virtual round of Philippines. Let us see what Philippines has stored in us. And with this, the floor is all yours, Dr. Philippine Fontanella. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, let us time to know more about Global Educators Fraternity. Let's watch this.
Dr. Zoel, the voice is not audible. If there is a voice, it's not audible.
What is global education fraternity? GEL is an association that hankers to build global citizens around the globe to spread awareness in various aspects to make a better quality of life. For the like-minded people have joined hand in hand. One group here's the kicker to the current issues
Dr. Zoel, voice is not audible.
of responsible, responsive citizens. Mission to nurture the global learners with introspection and adjuration with the guidance of the experts. To bring a revolution in the education fraternity. To achieve a long-term sagacious transformation on the citizens think and act.
Sorry.
Act. To develop the key competencies needed in all the facts.
Dr. Zoel, you can read it out
Vision.
also. I think it's not audible.
Acquire skills and knowledge.
All right, so
to
vision,
promote
acquire
sustainable
skills and
development
knowledge
goals
to
and to provide a network for expanding the spirit of creativity, innovation, and prepare the young generations with great values globally to make the world a better place. Our aim
Our aims to mentor best practices and upgrade already established practices to serve the community and to meet the societal needs. It aspires to promote education through various domains of learning, such as cognitive and social emotional skills. Upcoming aspirations, webinars and workshops for the betterment of learners and society of the large. To enhance the personal traits and professional skills of citizens globally. To broaden the horizons of knowledge to underprivileged learners in less progressive zones. To create awareness programs about health and hygiene. And seminars in vocational career counseling and many more. That is Global Educators Fraternity. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, educators and speakers, and of course, our guest, an international organization that will make innovation the priority and professional growth with its words persistence, patience, and perseverance. We can make this world better for the next generations. And now, I am happy to showcase what Philippines has to offer. Let us watch this again. And now, let's meet our magnanimous speakers. All right. So for now, again, I will say mabuhay to showcase what's inspired to our beloved country, Philippines. We again say mabuhay Philippines or long live mabuhay. Now, let's meet our first speaker. Our first speaker is a man of knowledge, wisdom when we are talking about innovation and advancement in education. No other than Dr. Jonald L. Kiao. He will be talking about education tourism. Let us lend our ears and eyes to his presentation.
Good
I
evening.
am just allowing you. Yes, Dr. Jonal, you can share the screen.
For a while,
Dr. Zonal, you just check the screen. I think you shared the wrong window.
I think Dr. Jonathan is using cell phone for now.
Yes. Sorry, I was not able to get my laptop. I'm using my.
It's okay. If you want, I can share your slides. Oh no, it's sharing now.
Did I already share it, Doc Joel?
Okay, I will share it for you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay. So this is much different, you know, if we are using cell phone. Right.
Dr. Zoe, you can try from your end too.
Yes, ma'am, I am opening it.
Okay. Yes, at time technology, it has its own advantages and glitches. So
Yes, you have to get used to it.
yes,
I'm sorry for that.
It's okay, doctor.
it's
No
okay.
problem.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna share.
We have one of our senior most core team member joined here, Mr. Narendra Bhatia sir. We have our media person joined with us, Mr. Syed Danish. And I can see so many people from different parts have joined us.
Is this the
Welcome,
one?
sir. Welcome, Narendra sir. Welcome, Rajesh Rathod sir, Mr. Danish. Yes, finally the slide is on.
Okay, get
Okay.
ready.
Again, good evening to our fellow educators. I was very much given the opportunity to discuss to you about education, tourism. Let me just give you some insights about my topic. Okay. Quotations, simple quotations. Courage starts when learning counts. Okay, so with this, next slide, sir. We all know that education, tourism, it happens that we ask in ourselves, what does education, tourism can do to us? But then in here, let me just read you about my slides. Now, it's one of the forms of tourism and is a way to give best education to students. Okay, it gives best education to students learning and to enhance knowledge. The growing popularity of attaining knowledge and technical competencies from the world's best destinations has resulted in increase in education tourism. Next slide, sir. It is a question from us, we, or most of it. No? The question is, why education important in tourism? Tourism education plays a major role in preparing students to gain professional and practical skills required by the tourism industry. In tourism education, practical training is necessary for learners or students to find the opportunity to apply what they have learned into practice and to develop personal skills and abilities. As we all know, we people could easily learn when we got to see in person about what we wanted to know. Next slide, Doc. Again, these questions will be asked from any learners. How is education related to tourism? This is questions that makes us, being an educator, we must really give to our learners how are we going to pursue educational learnings as a pretext for a trip. Either learning knowledge, this is the best and sweetest things that we happen to learn about from the different places that we happen to visit, their historical, cultural, social, or learning a language more and more, even if we happen to
Would
practice
request
every day.
once again.
Education has used
Sir,
tourism as a tool to complement learning, accumulating experiences from practices. What do you mean by educational tourism? Educational tourism is about learning new things, acquiring new knowledge about culture or history of other destination. It means it focuses in studying new things, learning about other cultures, study tours, or to apply the learned skills, just like the quotations that we happen to understand. Uh, the adventure of a lifetime future is about to begin if we keep seeking new worlds. Importance of educational tourism. It helps people become better citizens, get a better paid job, shows the difference between good and bad. Education shows us the importance of hard work, and at the same time helps us grow and develop. Thus, we are able to shape a better society to live in by knowing and respecting rights, laws, and regulations. As we happen to visit different places, we happen to know their culture, their capabilities, and we happen to adapt. So we learn from it. Okay, educational tourism's opportunities in school trips. Okay, these are the educational opportunities that tourism could give us. In school trips, it may pay your community to create reasons for school children to visit. While these trips rarely translate directly into oversight, says they can help promote your tourism product in two ways. First, okay, children may bring their parents back for a longer visit. Okay, they will ask their parents, they happen to see this beautiful place, and they will ask their parents to go there and visit again. Second, they aid the local restaurant businesses. Okay? It gives us more additional compensations. Okay? Another is it is an alternative spring break travel experiences. This form of educational travel may be the most controversial form, so much so that some may argue the spring break travel has nothing to do with education. This form of travel only works if you have geography that lends itself, be it snow-covered mountain or beaches with palm trees. In either case, consider the pros and cons of spring break tourism. Often spring breakers add extra tourism costs in the form or in police stations. Other slide, please. Okay. Skill enhancement vacations. These are trips that range from learning how to build houses to how to protect the ecology. Nations such as Costa Rica have been extremely successful with ecotourisms in which they combine lessons on how to protect the world's ecology with the travel experience. Educational cruises. These cruises combine all of the fun of the cruise with lectures on specific subjects. Educational cruises have the advantage that people who take them tend to have common interests and therefore have greater possibilities of making new friends while acquiring new knowledge. They happen to meet people at the same time, they happen to acquire new knowledge. With that, we happen to see that education tourism give you it's more fun in tourism. With that, thank you and God bless to everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jonald. So
Thank
you
you,
give
Gab.
the initial informations about how important education tourism is. And of course, our next speakers will going to make a broaden aspect of that education tourism in our country. Thank you so much. Kudos and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Doc.
Right, so, okay.
Sir Joel, share screen po.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Okay, so
Thank you.
may I introduce to you our second speaker is a promising educator in our country. He mastered Filipino language and deal with excellent knowledge about his topic today. He will be talking about urban tourism and cultural heritage. Please welcome with virtual applause, Mr. Allen Lacaden.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Sir, can you share my screen, please? Thank you.
Okay, you may start now.
I can't see my screen, sir.
May I ask everyone can you see his screen now? I already shared.
You can see the screen, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
they can see
visible.
now.
It's visible.
It's visible, Sir Allen.
Sir, not visible in my laptop.
Okay, how's that?
It might
Okay,
just
sir.
take a couple of the signal might be low.
Ay, okay. I will present na lang.
Okay, okay.
We can hear you and we can see your slide.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Great day to all. Before I will start my talk, let me first introduce myself. I'm Mark Allen L. Lacadin from the Philippines, and I would like to give my profound gratitude to Dr. Joel Pontanilla for the opportunity. So, as your speaker, I welcome you to the Philippines. So, next slide, sir.
All right. It
Okay,
says welcome to urban tourism.
okay. Okay, next slide, sir.
All right.
Urban tourism, sir.
Yes.
Okay, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, that urban tourism is a type of tourism activity which takes place in an urban space, which inherits attributes characterized by non-agricultural based economy, such as administration, manufacturing, trade, and services, and by being nodal point of transport. So in here, urban tourism played a vital role in developing one's economy. So next slide, sir.
Yes. Tourism place.
Tourism plays an important role in the Philippines economy. The country boasts of rich natural beauty in its many spectacular beaches, sunny weather, and rich biodiversity. More than that, the Philippines' unique and complex culture, as exemplified by its people, cuisine, lifestyle, attracts many people to visit the country. So next slide, sir.
Right. We can see the different pictures now. Tourist spots.
Okay, so that is our country, the Philippines. Our tourist spot. On the upper part, we have the Boracay.
Right.
And we have also the Palawan. We have also the National Museum. We also have a architectural design, which is the Manila Ocean Park. And we also have Vegan City. Don't you know that Vegan City is one of the most wonderful city in the world? One of the seven wonderful city of the world. So those are some of the many beautiful places in Philippines as part of our urban tourism. So next, sir.
Culture.
Okay, so when we say culture, okay, or cultural heritage. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Culture the Philippines. Am I right?
Yes. You're right.
Okay, wait, sir. I can see my. Okay. The Philippines is an archipelagic country. When we say archipelagic, it is surrounded by bodies of water. So we have different and many beautiful beaches here in the Philippines. So it says here that it is located in Southeast Asia with capital as its Manila. The Philippines archipelago comprises 7,107 islands in Western Pacific Ocean. The Philippines is a country that contains myriad of different amalgamated culture and influences. When we say influences, we are colonized as part of the Philippine history. We are colonized by the Spaniard, American, and the Japanese. So we have a mixed in the Philippines and we have mixed language. So we are multi-language country. So next, sir.
Cultural heritage.
Okay, cultural heritage. So when we say cultural heritage, is an expression of the ways of living developed by a community and passed on from generation to generation, including customs, practices, places, objects, artistic expression, and values. So in cultural heritage, it is important to give value onto it because it is the root of one's country and economic progress. So next, sir.
Heritage cycle.
Okay, so have you seen the cycle of the heritage? This is applicable to all countries, not only in the Philippines. So according to Simon Turley, 2005, he said that heritage cycle give us an idea how can we make the past part of our future. So meaning to say, our cultural heritage really played a vital role in developing our present situation. So it helped us boost our economy. So as you can see in the screen, first there is by understanding. You can see it by clockwise direction. So by understanding our cultural heritage, people will now value. So what you have learned, what you have understand, of course, you are going to give value on it. So after valuing that, people want to take care of it. So after valuing, you need to take care. After taking care, you need to enjoy the heritage. So that is the cycle in a clockwise direction. I hope that is been understood by many. It is not applicable only in the cultural heritage of the Philippines, but it is applicable to all heritage. So that is the cycle. By understanding, you are going to value. By valuing, you are going to take care of it. And lastly, after doing all of that, you are going to enjoy now your cultural heritage. So next slide, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So those are some of the many informative and beautiful information about our country. If you want to visit our country, you can have it all the time. But now, pandemic, so we need to follow some restriction and guidelines implemented, of course, by our government here in the Philippines. So thank you so much and God bless us all. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, Mr. Allen. You bring us to the past and realizing how important and beautiful our culture is. And of course, the most important there is the value of knowing your culture or tradition well beyond others, because it is where you came and the identity of you being human being, right? So thank you so much, Sir Allen, and it was an informative presentations. Congratulations.
Okay, it's a
Now,
pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening to all.
now let's have our next speaker. Our third speaker is, the third speaker shows the epitome of excellence as lecturer, leader, and speaker in every conferences she attended. She will discuss about hospitality in a Filipino culture. Let's welcome no other than Miss Mabel Q. Tibay. Virtual applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, good evening, fellow educators. Can you see now my screen?
No, please share it now.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Miss Mabel, the screen is not visible.
All right, we
Okay.
ask help for, we need technical assistance. All right, you can see it now. You're sharing your screen. All right.
Okay, good evening once again, my fellow educators. So now I'm going to talk about hospitality tourism. So again, I am Mabel Q. Tibay. I will be discussing about hospitality tourism, and join me as we explore Philippines. So we have here the hospitality tourism. Okay, when we say Filipino hospitality, this is the most common that describes us Filipinos welcoming foreigners, tourists, travelers, guests, visitors who visits our country. Okay, so this is the hospitality, the core of a Filipino culture. Because for us Filipinos, we are pleasure or happy to accept foreigners as guests or visitors, as because we are good in building relationships, friendship with them. Okay, so before that, we're going to talk about first. I'm going to share to you the history of our hospitality. Okay, we have here the Malays, led by the sovereignty of Datu, were known as the first to migrate and inhabit the southern regions of the country. Long before, I know all of you knows about Ferdinand Magellan, who discovered Philippines. It is a small communities called barangays where most of the core traits of the Filipino had developed. Okay, here. The most common misconception of the Filipino hospitality is the thought that Filipinos are putting their guests, particularly the foreigners, up on the pedestal because of inferiority and servility. Okay. In other words, Filipinos are taught to willingness to serve or please foreign guests. So they were warmly welcomed and they were accepted wholeheartedly. Example of this was when the Spaniard first stepped foot on the country. Okay, on the contrary, the truth behind Filipino hospitality is the thought that no guest or visitor should get harmed under one's roof, as Filipino values the utmost loyalty of a friend to the extent that friends are treated as family. Okay, these are the reasons why you want to visit the Philippines. Okay, I know all of you wants to visit the Philippines. Okay, we have beautiful sceneries, warm people, festivities or festivals, or we call it fiestas, people who help each one another, and unique vehicle, public vehicle that we use to transport in the Philippines. So we use our jeep, we call this jeep or jeepney. Okay, we have here the trademark. Our trademark is the hospitality. I'm sorry. We have, whenever a visitor stay in a Filipino home, there will be a feast or a grand celebration. So it is a somehow tradition for us to prepare bountiful Filipino cuisine to have a taste of our culture through food. Okay, can you see the families there? They're happy sharing their foods with their visitors or their guests. Okay, now we have here the Filipino culture provides warm hospitality. Part of the Filipino culture is to always treat our guests warmly. You will be greeted warmly at the airports, hotels, restaurants, and everywhere you go. Okay, can you see the smile of Filipinos? Okay. This one, the traits of a Filipino being, what do you call this? Resourcefulness and being industrious. Okay. Filipinos are also optimism. They are always positive about their situation. Whatever problems come their way, they greet visitors with smile, and they have resiliency to overcome difficulties. Okay, we have here the expressions of hospitality. We have here the expressions of hospitality. Okay. We have expression of hospitality that you may encounter when you visit the Philippines, like mabuhay. Okay. A while ago, we learned about mabuhay, and then we have also this one, that tuloy po kayo. Okay, tuloy po kayo means welcome or please come in. And all you have to say is salamat po. If someone asking you to say tuloy po kayo, say salamat po. It means thank you. Okay, so here we have breathtaking views. One of the 8 wonders of the world, the rice terraces. Okay, we have also the islands to choose from. We have 7,641 islands that we can offer. Okay, we have also the surfing spot, the exquisite Filipino cuisine or our delicacies, ridiculously good people, and we have also the grand festivals or fiestas. Okay, we have this in any places. We have this, the grand festivals, and interesting mix of different cultures. Filipinos welcome everybody with open arms, and it's more fun in the Philippines. Okay, so here tourism play the central role in the Philippines economic development, because tourism boosts the revenue of the economy, creates or provide jobs for many and creates infrastructure projects. Okay. But now pandemics was affected us. So hotels, restaurants, and resorts are already closed because of the lockdown. So we are affected by this pandemic. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from me.
Wow, amazing. It is important. Thank you very much, Ms. Mabel. It is very important to maintain the culture of being hospitable to others. It reflects everybody, grow in values and humility. And precisely, we want this for the next generations to come. We treat everybody as brothers and sisters in one world, so not surprisingly to offer good treats and acceptance in all our visitors in our country. It was a magnanimous moment to have you, Ma'am Mabel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, everyone, and good evening.
Okay. So, all right. So, before we move on to our great speaker, I know you are excited to meet them. We have still 2. May I invite you to see and witness a great Filipino folk dance entitled Alitap-tap. All right. So mix. All right, there you have it. The mission of Alitaptap is to keep alive the Philippine culture and heritage by enhancing the understanding and appreciation of our rich and diverse cultural heritage. From now on, let's meet our fourth speaker. Our fourth speaker is humanitarian leader that connect in different walks of life, locally and internationally. He will open our mind and new principles of information on how important to start in local to attain productivity and progress. Let's welcome Mr. Johnny G. Naranja.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Let me
evening.
share my screen. Is it audible now, Doc?
Yes, you're audible, but your screen is not yet done. See?
But here I see it already.
They ask you technical. Please assist
Yes.
Mr. Johnny.
Yes, sir.
You try to share it?
Yes, sir. I shared it already. Did you see it?
No, we can't. Still not in our screen, sir.
Why? Is it audible now, Doc?
You're audible and your screen is starting to share. Let's wait for a
Okay.
moment. All right. It is visible now.
Okay, again, good evening, everyone. Good morning in the other countries. Let me start my discussion on the background, importance, how to promote, integrate values promoting the local tourism in the Philippines. Philippines is one of archipelagic country made up of 7,641 islands separated into 17 regions with 81 provinces. As prominent tourist attraction, the country is noted for a diverse biodiversity, beaches, heritage, cities and monuments, mountains, rainforests, islands, and diving spots among most popular tourist attraction in the country. Local tourism is more than just a steady term. It is a very real, practical kind of travel that benefits not only the environment but also in the local population. Example, Chocolate Hills in Bohol. Let's proceed on the importance. Many economies throughout the world rely on the tourism to thrive. It is increases the economy revenue, produces thousands of employment, and improves countries' infrastructures. It is also foster sense of culture interchange between citizen and foreign visitors. There are 6 vital rules to remember on how to promote tourism. One is website. They include contact information as well as photographs and description of individual attraction and companies. Be part of fun. That's an example. Second one is guide. Guide or brochure offer an overall image of what tourists might expect through beautiful photos and enticing prose. Third, press release. A news release will be sent to the local and national media by Tourism Bureau. It may pique the curiosity journalists who wish to write about it. In Davao del Norte, that is inaugurate examples. Blog is another one. Articles are written in more conversational style than other marketing piece. Blog can also provide you with more deep look specialty use in relates to particular destination, for example. That is example from Siargao Travel Guide. Next one is social media. Some of the most efficient way in market aisles man tourism services and events. Announcement, media, placement, and blogging. Another one is commercial. State Tourist Bureau, according to marketing offices with a higher budget, run television advertising to promote to both state out of state audiences. Let's proceed on the values integrated in promoting local tourism. One is preserving local culture. Filipinos are a close-knit family who are devoted on regular basis and value workmanship, design, music, and food. The Philippines culture is a blend of traditional Filipino and Spanish Catholic traditions with influence the American and other areas of Asia in 20th century. As you can see the picture, with waving, delicacies, the rondallas, painting of Ferdinand Amorsolo, and tinikling. Filipino culture is distinct from that one Asian countries, and Filipino values practices on daily basis. This attitude is most noticeable during fiestas and holidays when the Filipinos go above and above to entertain their friends and family in the best way possible. In preserving the culture, they are also recognized for being hospitable individuals that enjoy having fun. The annual festivals combine costumes, traditions, and the country's pre-Christian heritage, contemporary Catholic beliefs, and ideology. Another one is the strengthening communities. Every barrio, town, provinces, and cities in the Philippines has its own fiesta celebrates once a year. They're always bright and energetic, with lots of interesting sights and sound. It is irresistible. The festival must go on, rain or shine, good times or bad. These are the example, the Sinulog festivals in Cebu, the Ati-Atihan in Aklan, Panagbenga festivals in Baguio, Mascara festivals in Bacolod. Next one is the preservation of heritage. Despite of run and generally unfriendly rule, The Philippines' turbulent past of produce kind resilience, family-oriented, highly religious and artistic populace, and majority of whom is indigenous Spanish or mixed descent. Sample of features, the Paway Church in Ilocos Norte, the Batarips Natural Park in Palawan, the Mount Hamigen Wild Sanctuary in Davao Oriental. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening. It's more fun in the Philippines. Good evening,
Wow,
everyone.
excellent presentation, Mr. Johnny Naranja. You talked about the importance of local jobs for tourism. Of course, if there is way of promoting the local tourism, you mentioned it, and preserving local culture, which is very, very important. You know, you are doing now the preservation of culture by sharing an awareness to youth and all the people across the globe. Thank you so much. A great presentation. All right. Now, let's go to our last presenter. Our last but not the least brilliant lady who inspires youth, empowering them to be productive in the community. Let us take a glimpse on her topic, sustainable tourism. Pave the way to Miss Desiree C. Laguna. Virtual applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ambassador Dr. Joel M. Fontanilla, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow educators. It is my pleasure to be part of this prestigious and remarkable conference today. So let me share my screen. Sir Joel, is it visible?
Starting to, yes, it's now visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so a while ago, you've learned about the topics hospitality tourism management, the education tourism, promotion of local tourism, and urban tourism and cultural heritage of the Philippines. Now, the question is it really more fun in the Philippines? Then, it's time for the last but not the least speaker, and it's me, Miss Desiree C. Laguna, to share to you my topic about the sustainable tourism development. But before we go on to the sustainable tourism and its challenges, let's define first the sustainability education. So here it is. Sustainability education is often referred to as education for sustainable development, which has been defined as UNESCO 2014. The education for sustainable development allows every human being to acquire the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values necessary to a sustainable future. Enable for us to have a good country, we should have to give value for education, and it will begin in teaching the new generations who will take good care of our motherland. But before we do that, we the educators should explore more something exceptional. There were 7 Filipino moral values that always taught in different schools here in the Philippines. So here are the 7 Filipino moral values: the unconditional love, kindness and honesty, the hard work, respect for others, cooperation, compassion, and forgiveness. These are the 7 moral Filipino values that taught in schools here in the Philippines. Because if we will inculcate to the young minds of learners these 7 Filipino moral values, and even in other countries, definitely they will know soon on how to take good care and sustain the beauty of our motherland. So in tourism, sustainability means achieving quality growth in a manner that does not deplete the natural and built-in environment and preserves the culture, history, and heritage of local community. Achieving balance between number of visitors and the capacity of the given environment. In tourism, sustainability also means greatest interaction and enjoyment with the least distractions. So here are the attractions and the high quality attractions. The natural or human-made, the fixed or mobile, new or ancient, large or small, temporary or permanent, may be designed for some human activity and unique. The high quality attractions is attraction draw visitors, offers experience that visitors want and need. The goal of sustainable tourism development is the preservation of the attractions so that the future generation can also enjoy them. So the Department of Tourism here in the Philippines' long-term goal is to develop an environmentally and socially responsible tourism that delivers larger, more widely distributed income and employment opportunities. So where is the Philippines in the tourism area life cycle? The first indicator is visitors' arrival, wherein tourists who makes multiple trips to the country is counted each time as new arrival. The second indicator, the travel patterns and arrangements, as you can see on the pictures on the screen. A tourist travel pattern is a combination of the destinations they choose to visit or the tourists to visit. Because understanding tourist travel patterns is essential for the efficient operation of tourism-focused businesses and organizations. Another indicator is the economic contribution, where in the grassroots level, people value tourism as it provides income and employment. The government, tourism is considered as a growth and poverty reduced development plan. Because Philippines is an archipelagic country, which composed of 7,641 islands, just like what Mama Bell told us a while ago, with 81 provinces divided in 17 regions. That is why the country is known, or our country is known for having its rich biodiversity as its main tourist attractions. And the last indicator is the promotions, of course. So in order to promote our country, we used, or the Department of Tourism used the social media and publicity, and of course, advertising strategies. Because we all know that, like social media and publicity, we all know that technology nowadays is very popular, especially in using social media platforms and publicity. So that's it. You can see we will promote the Philippines, the Department of Tourism here in the Philippines uses this social media and publicity and even advertising strategies so that you in all over the world country, what do you call this one? All over the world can see the beauty and the beauty within of the our country. So what now? Since you know the indicators, what now? So of course there are challenges to sustainable tourism. The first one is declining local participation, wherein local and foreign accommodations, the local as employees or suppliers. Another one is the environment changes, and it has positive changes and negative changes. On its positive changes, the conservation and protection of the environment, the higher fish production and reforestation. The example of that is the dive sites and marines protected areas, specifically in Palawan and Cebu, the forest reserves and national park. And there is also negative changes, the pollution and waste, the beach erosion, and the degradation. But our President Rodrigo Duterte tends to help and revive the one of the island here in the Philippines, which is the Boracay. So it's good so that we continue to sustain the beauty and the beauty and the what do you call this one? But the beauty of our country. Then built environment changes, the emergence and establishments specifically designed for Korean and Taiwanese tourists. Another one is the social impacts. It has positive impacts, my dear fellow educators, which is empowered communities in community-based and volunteer tourism, the employment opportunities for women, and cultural pride. The natural attractions, of course, another challenge is the managing attraction. The natural attractions, which beaches, reef, forest, Philippine ski asset, the national ecotourism strategy. How should the Philippines respond to climate change? Another question is that. Then the cultural heritage and the festivals, old churches, and lack of research on it. So the question now is it really more fun? Since you've seen all the photos a while ago. So here, there were a few attractions and destinations here in the Philippines. The Laguna Lake Tour, the Mount Mayon Tour, and the Legazpi Tour, and the Banawi Tour also, in Baguio and Banawe. So everyone, if after this pandemic, you can visit Philippines and you can see all the tourist spots here in our country, and you are all welcome here in the Philippines. So what are the conclusions and the recommendations? Here are some of the conclusions and the recommendations regarding the challenges for sustainable tourism here in our country. Educate locals, relevance of resources, provide skills, involve locals. It is very important. Consider local opinions and address conflict. Support small scale businesses, improve resource access, and reduce cost and risks. Environmental sustainability is often linked to economic and social sustainability, especially in nature-based tourism sites. And of course, learn from previous expenses to avoid similar problems and to develop a more sustainable tourism industry. So that's it. Thank you for listening and watching my presentation, my dear fellow educators. I hope you like it and you've seen the beauty of our country. So
Wow. Wow, Philippines.
welcome.
That was a magnanimous presentation, like the way you discussed our tourism goal, the pictures that reflect the image of perfections about our culture. You showed us the positive aspect on how the important sustainability of tourism is important in all countries, and to offer more beyond expectations. In total, it was so brilliant. Congratulations to all our 5 speakers. Now you can visit all the different countries through social media. It's very easy. But of course, the connection of person to person or in person to visit, you can feel the culture, you can feel the diversity of traditions that is much different on the social media. So at the end of this pandemic, so I hope that we will going to have a chance to visit. You can visit our country, and we can visit also to your country. Now, so it's time for us to ask questions to our panelists, to our guest speakers. And this question is, will test you on how you really know your country, the Philippines, right? So the questions will be evolving in the discussions or your presentations that you have discussed. I have question to Mr. Mark Allen. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello
Your
po.
question is, why is it important to know our own cultural heritage?
You know, sir, cultural heritage really affect how people unite in a certain country. So this heritage really unite, this cultural heritage really unite one's identity, one's country among others. Meaning to say, we have diverse culture, we have diverse philosophy, we have diverse concept and idea. But in our cultural heritage, we unite. It provides unity. It provides us unity for us to have that progress in our country. And it
Thank you.
invites more tourists to know, to value, to carry, and enjoy not only the natural resources, but also our heritage, our culture. Because part of now is the history and the heritage of our country. So that would be the importance of knowing and giving value to our cultural heritage, specifically in the Philippines. So thank you.
Great answer, Mr. Mark Allen. Of course, you should know your own culture for you to become
Yes.
to become you, right? So
Yes.
knowing the culture is knowing where you came from. All right. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
it is the reflection of your
Yes.
identity.
Correct.
Mr. Zoel, we have to leave the question round here because it's a 7-day series and we have to stick to time limit.
All right. So next question, Mr. Johnny Ranja, why is local tourism important?
Dr. Zoel, we have to leave the questions here because
Okay,
let our audience explore more of Philippines
Yes.
online and know much more about it. And I can see there were a lot of exciting facts on the chat box, and somebody from Nepal joined us. So, sir, we will be exploring Nepal on 1st of October when we mention Kaleidoscope around the world in 7 days. So today was Philippines, tomorrow is Brazil, then comes India, and then comes Nepal, and then Africa, and then Taiwan. So 7 days, 7 countries, and 1 hour is too short time to cover up all the facts and figures. The whole idea was to just make you aware about the basic places so that you all can Google search. And yes, definitely one day we can be there. So, Dr. Zoel, would you like to give your ending remark before I go to for the vote of thanks?
Well, in behalf of the Philippine team, thank you so much for your cooperation. To all the people around the world who witnessed our introduction of what Philippines can offer, thank you so much, and a lot of things to be discovered in the Philippines. You can visit the Philippines. Thank you so much.
So on behalf of Global Educators Fraternity, I can see our moderators from India. So let me just give just 1 second so that we can spotlight our, I can see India moderator present here. Then just give me a while so that you all can see who all will be representing their different countries. Dr. Rajesh Rathore will be representing India. Then I just saw Nepal, Minmaya. I think she had logged out. Then we had Vinny from, yes, Vinny will be representing Taiwan. Vinny, are you there? I can see your video off, so I'm not able to host you. Okay, so with this, Rathod sir will be representing India, and I can see many of the guests who are present here. So on behalf of Global Educators Fraternity, I express my heartfelt gratitude to all our eminent guest speakers, our moderators, and moderators of different countries also for taking out time and taking us to the virtual trip of Philippines today. And yes, the mesmerizing folk dance of Philippines. And I loved Dr. Zoel wearing the traditional dress of Philippines also. So this is what your culture is. When you are representing your country, you are in your traditional dress too. So hats off to Dr. Zoel. And we express our gratitude to each one of you who joined us on Zoom and also on Facebook. It may not be individually possible for me to address each name, but our Global Educators Fraternity media person has also joined. We have Mahua ma'am from West Bengal, Rajesh Rathod sir from Jammu, and I can see many known faces from different parts of the world. So gratitude to each one of you. And yes, your wisdom and profound thoughts not only make the evening beautiful, but also allows us to take the inspiration, be inspired, and pass on the inspiration baton to the younger generation. See you all tomorrow to know more about Brazil, and the gratitude certificate for all our moderators and guest speakers will be done on 3rd of October, which will be the last day of the 7th day, so that all our moderators, speakers unite once again at one platform. So see you all tomorrow once again, same time, same day. And apologies, Dr. Zoel, to cut you down because we have to have our guests for 7 continuous days. And if we don't stick to time, then I'm sure, sorry, like, people, they say, Madam, aapka show, like your show goes on beyond time limit. So with this, Dr. Zoel, I would request you to say goodbye in your language, goodbye in English from Global Educators Fraternity, and in your language, in Philippine language, please say goodbye.
We say paalam, goodbye everyone. Paalam.
So see you all tomorrow, same
See you all
time, 6:30
tomorrow.
to 7:30.
Palam.
Palam.
Yes.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Amazing. Amazing.
So tomorrow we will have a virtual trip to Brazil. So
Salamat.
stay tuned. See you all tomorrow. And Dr. Shira, yes, you have given a lot of facts about Nepal. Nepal we will be covering on 1st October. So please come out with all your amazing facts on 1st of October. Thank you. See you all tomorrow. Same time. Bye-bye. Have a good day.